You're a mean one, Miss Chase. A Percabeth Christmas Alternate Universe Fanfiction, Part 3. Holiday shopping was more or less a chore to people. The effort of getting a gift that would satisfy everyone else was annoying, to say the least. Some people had wish lists, which one would think would make this task easier to accomplish, but really it didn't help. And some people had nothing to ask for, which was hard because, well, how do you get something for them that they would love if you don't even know what they want? Not to mention the expenses of everything. Money doesn't just grow on trees. Gift getting was really a hassle. For most people, that is. But then again, Percy Jackson never really fit into that category of most people. He liked gift giving. Actually, that was an understatement. Percy loved giving gifts and loved going out shopping for the perfect presents for his friends and family. He put lots of time and effort into his gifts. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that he loved the holidays, or that he was a single guy and had money to spare. Although it probably came from the fact that his mother had made gift giving so special. She called it a physical manifestation for your love and understanding of a person. Perhaps his small circle of close friends was also a reason. He only had 7 people to shop for after all. No matter the exact reason, Percy enjoyed it. And that was the reason that he was out on December 8th at 8:39 p.m. shopping for a gift. Technically, he had all the gifts ready and stuffed into a closet. There are very few things in life Percy was ready and on time for, or even early. And, well, holiday season was one of them. But then, Annabeth moved in, and Percy had become, as Grover so elegantly put it, smitten. So after denying Grover's teases for a solid 10 minutes, Percy had run out to find a gift for her, because let's face it, he was. After wandering the aisles for a bit, Percy sighed in defeat. He had no idea what to get her. He barely had seen into Annabeth's apartment, and what he remembered was that it was clean, minimalistic, and no help at all. She, probably wouldn't appreciate the gift of a 6-foot blown-up snowman, or a reindeer statue made of holiday lights. Truly, and for the first time, Percy had no idea what to get his friend, or who he believed was his friend. It was still kind of unsure from her side. He called Piper, and on the 3rd ring, she picked up the call. "Yo, Pipes! What do you want?" I need help." He could almost hear Piper raising her brow up from the other side of the call. "When don't you? But what is it this time?" she questioned with an amused tone of voice. Percy sighed and moved out of the way of another shopper with a polite smile. "Well, what does Annabeth like?" he asked, a blush appearing on his face. Piper burst out laughing loudly, making Percy move the phone away from his ear. "Why? You want to give her a gift? Do you like her?" she snickered into the phone. Percy scowled, though she couldn't see it. "No, she is my friend, and so I want to give her a Christmas gift," he explained. Piper snorted. "Your friend? Yeah, totally. And I get that you want to be all nice and stuff, but I already told you she doesn't do holidays, and you trying to force it on her is just going to bring up bad memories," Piper said with her "I am protecting my friends" tone of voice. As much as she liked to poke at her friends and tease them, Piper really cared for her friends. Percy knew that first-handedly. I may have gotten her to decorate my apartment with me, and she's kind of okay with it now, Percy said shyly. He did not want to be chewed out by Piper McLean, but it may happen. You what? She shouted. Percy winced. She wasn't mad, or at least she didn't seem mad. Like, it was awkward. But she was okay with it, and it was kind of fun. I learned a lot about her. Like, did you know she was a knife thrower? Percy babbled nervously. Piper groaned, and he could hear her hitting her head. Yes, Percy, I did know that as one of her closest friends. Why did you do that? She asked in a dry voice. Percy nervously laughed. I wanted her to have some Christmas cheer. In a small way, at least. I kind of bribed her with cookies, too, but, you know, she came to help me willingly. And honestly, she didn't know how to decorate anything, but she still tried and actually refused my help. It was funny. Piper sighed. It was adorable to you, wasn't it? She said. Percy sputtered. What? No, I didn't say that. Piper snickered again. I have no idea how you accomplished that task without being killed. Well, no, I can actually think of a reason, but I can't tell you. But I am very surprised. Percy peeked up. Before he could ask her what the reason was, who cared if she ended up dead? Piper spoke again. Annabeth likes architecture. You can find something to do with that, right? Or, you know, just talk to her. If you're able to find any... You can just talk to her. If you're not able to find anything. And before Percy could respond, Piper hung up. He cursed her. With buildings, of all things, in mind, Percy searched again. However, like before, he couldn't find anything. Well, not anything. That was the perfect gift. Sure, a gingerbread house making kit was around the realm of building, but it didn't feel right. With defeat, Percy took up Piper's last offer, although not without a giddy smile. Not that he'd ever admit that to Piper, because God knows that girl would be relentless about it. Annabeth opened the door with a quizzing expression on her face after a couple knocks. Maybe I should give you my number so you can stop bothering me as I work, she said as a greeting. Percy went red. Right, most jobs had projects that needed to be worked on outside of office hours. Oh, sorry, he said, perking up when she offhandedly offered her number. Even though he was a distraction, Annabeth waved him to come inside, all red-nosed, chilled and all. He looked around, taking in what looked to be, well, exactly what he had expected. Yeah, there was nothing that seemed like it needed to be added to. The apartment was pretty clean and perfect as it was. What do you need? Or are you trying to make a habit of knocking on my door at strange times? Annabeth said, her tone conflicting with the amused grin on her face. I just wanted to ask about gifts, Percy admitted. Annabeth took a step back. Her blonde hair swished. Oh, she said dumbly. Percy shrugged and took off his snow-dusted blue hat and stuffed it into his pocket. Got a wish list? I'll get you all the things your kid self dreamed of, he said with a smile and laugh. The blonde looked at him with narrowed eyes. No, she said in almost a confused tone. Percy paused and looked at her wide-eyed. You've never had a wish list? He asked incredulously. She slowly shook her head. Percy sputtered at her. Annabeth gave him a wired smile. I don't know about your family, but mine never had a point for wish lists. She looked away from him and her lips pulled into a tight line. There was no point. I wouldn't have gotten anything from it, she said bitterly. Percy felt his heart drop down. That really sucks. I'm sorry, he said slightly awkwardly. May I ask why? If it's too personal to tell me, it's fine. Annabeth turned to face them. Her eyes bore into and over him as if she was scanning him for some sort of reason. Why not? She said sardonically. Wishing for things, it was always considered a cop-out. According to my mother, as I was growing up, if I wished for something and got it, then I didn't deserve it. Everything was worked for in my household, or at least on my mom's side. She spit it out in almost an icy voice. Percy felt slightly awkward. Sure, his life had some troubles, some was probably an understatement, but at the very least he had the love and affection of a forever compassionate parent. His family didn't even care enough to tell me that I was being an idiot. So, if that gives you any mental picture of what would have happened if I had given them a list of things that I wanted, she admitted. Percy placed a hand over his mouth, unsure of what to do. Annabeth pointed her finger at a worn-down hat hung onto the wall. Percy looked at it. It was frayed and old. The Yankees logo was barely visible. Last gift I ever got before my mom up and left. Annabeth looked at him with a hardened look on her face. I'm an architect for a reason. Someday, I'm gonna build something, and it's going to last forever. Unlike my mother's presence in my life, unlike my dad's love, unlike all of the ex-boyfriends, it's never going to break, she said with sheer determination in her voice. I don't doubt that you will do it, Percy said, because, quite honestly, what was he supposed to say following that? Annabeth gave him a small smile, the right of her lips lifting. Thanks, she said. You know what? I think I know what I'm going to get you for Christmas. I now know what your gift will be, Percy said when the idea suddenly struck him. Annabeth's eyes widened and she shook her head fervently. No, don't. No gifts. It's fine, she said quickly, but Percy ignored that with a smile. Everyone should get a gift for the holidays, he said with cheer. The blonde shook her head again. Okay, that's nice and all, but you really don't need to. We barely met, and I don't know what to get you, she said shyly. The slight pink blush took over her cheeks and nose in a very cute way. Percy shrugged and opened the door to go back to his own apartment. I'll take cookies. Any type if you really want to do something. Before Annabeth could protest farther, Percy closed the door with a smirk and entered his own apartment. Immediately, he opened his laptop, because if you can't find anything in the store, then go online. Percy clapped his hands in joy a mere 10 minutes later. The gift was well on its way, and it was going to be the best gift Annabeth will ever get in her life. He was going to make sure of it.